All right, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately, welcome to our final coaches luncheon of the year. My name is Haptam Kaleta, Sports Information Director for the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. And we invite you, or we welcome you to our weekly football media luncheon here with head coach Monte Coleman. And we've got a young freshman to my immediate right, Mr. Sean Steele, defensive back, playing some safety back there. He's from Fort Worth, Texas. And to our far right, we've got Coach Nivens, offensive line coach. Somebody said we called an audible. It's perfect, perfect verbiage. But we do welcome you here to the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff's Black and Gold Room. And without further ado, we'll get started today on our past game. So Coach Coleman will give us a recap of this Prairie View A&M game. Kind of got started on the wrong foot, didn't get to leave right away, but he'll give a little breakdown. Coach Coleman.
Actually, you hit on something, but it's our philosophy as a football team that we don't look for the excuses. We could blame it on certain things that happened prior to us leaving, but I really don't think that had a lot to do with us playing. We didn't play a very good football game. Now, if we go back 2 weeks to the Southern game, I thought the team played extremely well. The buzzword between the coaches was there was a lot of effort, and I think I shared that with us last week. We come another week forward to the Grambling game, and we all saw the effort that the team put out against Grambling, the #1 team in the SWAC, having lost a game to a SWAC team in 2 years. We'll hold that because they do have the Bayou Classic, so they have a chance to lose a game to Southern in the Bayou Classic. But up until now, they haven't lost a game in the SWAC over the last 2 years, and we played a real good football game. We didn't win, but we played a real good football game. I thought we were on pace to go to Prairie View and actually win this football game against Prairie View. Prairie View is a good football team. They're ranked number 3. Grambling's number 1, Southern's number 2, and Prairie View's number 3. Right now, we're 4th, and Texas Southern is 5th in the West in the SWAC on the western side. For whatever reason, we didn't do any of the things that we wanted to do as far as starting fast. We were just sluggish, extremely sluggish, and for the life of me, I can't put my finger on why we were sluggish. We got the rest. Curfew was an hour earlier. The guys got to bed. We made it there a little bit later, but not much later than we had anticipated or according to the itinerary. So I'm not quite sure why we were sluggish. Now, I also go back and I look at the Alabama A&M game. That was the first 2 o'clock game that we played this season. We were a little sluggish in that game. This was the first 1 o'clock game that we had played. All the games have been from 2 o'clock and above, 2:30 and above, and this was the first 1 o'clock game. I can't really say it wasn't real hot. It wasn't real cold. It was a nice football day. Had a little wind coming out of the north, but it wasn't that much of an effect. Why we were flat, I'm not quite sure. We did have some good effort by some of the guys, but as a team, we just didn't play the type football that we had become accustomed to over the last few weeks. That game is behind us. We wish we could have had it back. I thought we could have won that game. I really feel deep down that we had the ability to win that football game. If you watch pro football, if you watch pro sports, every now and again, your favorite teams have a bad day. And I just stocked this one up to a bad day as a Golden Lion. Did it hurt? Absolutely. It was a long bus ride back, a lot longer than coming. It was a long bus ride back because, we felt like we let one slip away that day. But like I said, that game's behind us. We came in on yesterday. We watched the film. The coaches made their corrections, and now everything is pointing toward Texas Southern. Texas Southern right now, back when we went to Media Day, SWAC Media Day, we were picked to finish last in the West, and that's my encouraging words to the team. We're right now in 4th. So we don't want to finish last like everybody predicted us to. We want to win this game. We definitely want to play hard. We're in front of our home crowd again up at War Memorial Stadium. and we want to definitely play extremely hard to win this football game. I think it would take us into the off season with something positive. We can build off some of the young guys that we do have that's playing and playing well for us. And we can also send the older guys, the seniors, out with a victory, their last game as a Golden Lion. So there's a lot riding on this game. By no means have we given up. We've talked about that. We will not give up. We will play a great football game this weekend at War Memorial, and pray that we will walk away with a victory. But I feel very confident in this football game.
Thank you so much, Coach. First question I'll go to our freshman, Mr. Sean Steele. First of all, great job on leading the team in tackles. Unassisted, you had 5 this week, so hats off to you on that. Can you kind of just explain, I know we had a big challenge. A lot of the criticism for the secondary this year has been we're a little undersized, a little young. So can you explain, I know Hodge had a career day, 8 catches, 232 yards, 3 touchdowns. Can you just talk about the feel of the game out there, having to, guard him? Y'all rolled the coverages towards him, but he had a monster day. So can you just talk a little bit about that for us, please, Mr. Steele? The challenge that you guys had.
Well, we came out slow, so we wasn't really playing at our best ability. So that led to him as having a big game, and we wasn't we was well prepared, but we came out sluggish, and that just led to him having a big game.
All right. Do you think the senior night kind of gave them a motivation? Seemed like they were real hype before the game, jumping around, taking pictures, laying on the floor. It seemed like they were just real relaxed and comfortable.
Yes,
what
sir.
you think?
Yes, sir. As you can tell, last week was our senior week, and we played ice out, so that's a big advantage.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right, we'll go to Coach Nevins. Thank you so much for that, Sean. Coach Nevins, what did you see from a offensive lineman coach's perspective out against Prairie View this weekend?
Coming in this week, past week, we knew he was going to jump in different fronts, 3 down, 4 down. Prepare the guys well to pick up the fronts and the blitzes. This is our first game this year that we haven't given up any sacks. We had a couple of pressures, but we started 3 freshmen up front. We lost one guy, Eric Jones, to a slight knee injury last week. The week before, put him in there. He wasn't playing his full speeds. I thought he would be. Made some changes up front. Put some older guys in like Nyquil Alexander. We got the job done so far as in the pass game. Just in the run game, I thought we could have been a little more physical and aggressive. They got the best of it because they had some good guys up front, some bigger guys on the interior that we knew going in the game that it's going to be a big challenge for us. So with that being said, we came out to not play our best game, but we played a pretty average game, mediocre game, I would say. And I don't know if it was the bus ride or anything like that, but we have done that in the past. So we just played, like Steele said, a little sluggish. We had opportunities to take the victory, but just certain self-inflicted wounds we caused to put us behind the chains so far as holding and not on side and stuff like that. So.
All right, thank you, Coach Nevins. Down to your 3rd string quarterback, Marcus Terrell. You prepared the guys all week, so having no sacks is a big feat for sure, going against the 3rd best team in the conference in that side. Marcus Terrell, no interceptions as well, Coach. When Keyshawn Williams went out the game, and you can start off, Coach, what did you tell Marcus? I mean, from that time, we're literally limping into the 2nd quarter. I saw Keyshawn was devastated on the sidelines. My heart went out to him, but what did you kind of tell Marcus to keep him focused?
Basically, what I told him before the game was just relax. When he got in the game last week against Grambling, he was intense, very intense. And I told him just to relax and make sure you have ball security. Remind the running backs ball security. The thing that we didn't want to do is give the game away with turnovers. So he did that. He relaxed. I thought Marcus played a game well enough to win if the supporting cast would have supported him just a little bit more. Was it devastating when Keyshawn goes out? We lose Keyshawn, we lose Jeremy Brown, we lose Ralph Tyron Ralph. We lose about 10 more. It was pretty bad. I mean, we're down to our third quarterback. But you got to understand, markers have started for this team before. So even though he's the third quarterback, it's only by numbers. He's got the experience because during Anthony Jones' tenure as the offensive coordinator, Marcus was our #1 quarterback for some parts of that year. So he knew what to do. And, we were practicing on Thursday prior to getting on the bus that night, and Marcus pulls a quad muscle. Now, if you watched him scramble against Grambling, he didn't have the capabilities of doing that because he had a pulled quad. He did run the ball some in the game against Prairie View, but didn't have the full mobility of his left leg because of a pulled quad. So, I take my hat off to him. He was actually supposed to be our guest today, and he could have explained to you a little bit more. But we didn't give up any sacks. We had no fumbles. We had no interceptions. We had 2 interceptions. We took the ball away, so we win the giveaway takeaway, which that's what we try to do each week. So there were some positive things from this. There was a lot of positive things, even with the number of guys in the secondary that was banged up. Mr. Sean Steele and Mr. Canada, they held their own. But we just didn't make plays like we had done the last 2 weeks.
And you mentioned the interceptions. John Tavis Testa picked up his first career interception in college. Kind of kept us in the game early,
Absolutely.
Definitely, and then Tashad had one later. Can you talk about those 2 plays?
Oh, big plays, huge
Absolutely.
plays. I mean, that's what we need. The offense, the way they've been scoring, the thing that we talk about on the defensive side of the ball is to make sure that we can go out and get turnovers, being interceptions, being fumbles, being whatever, so we can give the ball back to the offense. With each of those, we were only able to get 3 points out of it, but it's points. And we pride ourselves on the defensive side of the ball at taking the ball away, because you've heard me say here at the press conference that we want to win the giveaway takeaway, and we were able to do that in this past game.
Wonderful. Thank you, Coach. And at this moment, if you could give a brief preview on Texas Southern for this Saturday's season finale, 2:30, War Memorial Stadium, and then when we finish, we'll take some questions from the audience.
Texas Southern's a young football team. Their coach is going into his second year, and they're a young football team on the field. Very aggressive defense. They will blitz you. Not a whole lot, but they will time their blitzes based on their strategic plan as far as where they are on the field. Offensively, they've got a quarterback that he can spin it. He can throw it real well. Got great receivers. Not a big football team as far as size, but have all the capabilities of playing on the West. My opinion, the West is the stronger division, and Texas Southern definitely belongs on the western side because of the way they play. So it won't be an easy game for us, even though they have only won 1 football game this year. And I'm sure the Coach Haywood would have them coming in with the mindset of beating us, upsetting us, so that they can move into the 4th place position opposed to in the 5th place position.
Wonderful. Thank you, Coach. All right, at this time, we'll start with members of the media. We don't have many today, but please open the floor for questions. Tim?
It's just me.
All right.
That's all you need.
All
Just
right,
kidding.
we'll take it.
Tim Stubbs, UAPB-TV Sports. Since this is our last official press conference, kind of get an overview of the season and how it progressed. You don't need talent to have effort and attitude. And that's one thing I've picked up on throughout the year with your team is the effort has been there and the attitude's been good.
Yes.
Talk about that. That's matters of the heart, and it's easy to get down, but the resiliency has been there, and just to keep grinding, keep getting better week by week, game by game, because I know that's what you guys preach. Talk about that a little bit.
You know, that's a good point, Tim. The thing that I see right now as I evaluate the team, and we'll have a closeout meeting on Sunday and Monday with the team where they will sit down with the coach and have an evaluation, a full evaluation with each of the players. But the resilience that the team showed, we're still a young football team. The whole secondary, with exception to one, did not play for us last year, and those guys have done extremely well for us. This is a team, I said week in and week out that we're just one recruiting class away from being very, very competitive in the SWAC. With the young guys coming back like the Sean Steels, they're getting something that can't be bought, the playing time. They now see the speed of the game. Some we've redshirted, they don't know the speed of the game. But when you play week in and week out, different teams, you'll see and you'll feel how you're maturing, and that's what we're doing. I think from the very opening games, the games that we played against Akron, the games that we played against Arkansas State, and therefore we got better, but there was more victories. And I truly believe that we're poised to get victories opposed to just playing well against teams because of the young folks like the Canadas and the Steels and people like that. So we're moving forward. The guys got a great attitude in practice. They come to work every day to get better. And, we'll wish our seniors well. And we'll get another class. Now we're trying to establish the new seniors so they can be the leaders on the team so that we can continue to improve week in and week out.
Right on the cusp.
Yes,
It's
we
right
are.
there. I know you can see it.
Yes, we are.
And we see it as well. The improvement has been remarkable, especially from last year and then week by week, as we mentioned. On Saturday's game, you could tell the injuries, it kind of caught up to them. And I think that attributed to why they looked flat at times. Your depth you were very thin.
Yes.
At positions. So it was a step back a little bit with the progression as we've seen over the past few weeks, but really banged up. Going into this final game, where do you see the team? You're going to have to keep playing some new guys, or?
There are other guys. One of the philosophies is this: next man up. We've lost some guys. Brandon Duncan started the season at quarterback. Unfortunately for him, he got injured. Then Leo comes in. Leo gets injured. Now Marcus, it's his time to run the ship, and he's got to do it for this game. He is a senior. Marcus is a senior, and this is his last collegiate ball game. So he's gonna do everything he can do to help us to win. This is the same way across the board. We've got young guys playing for disciplinary reasons. We got rid of some guys because they wasn't team oriented, and it gave an opportunity for Sean Steele to play. We really got to take our hat off to him. I keep using him as an example, but we recruited Sean as a corner. His best position and his favorite position is corner opposed to safety. But we needed him at the safety position, so he humbled himself as a team player, and now he's playing safety, and he's doing a pretty good job. We've moved a wide receiver, Mr. Canada, over to safety. In high school, he played both. He played wide receiver, and he played safety also. So we had an opportunity to move him over to help us in the secondary, and he's doing a good job over there. So the thing that we're doing, Tim, I say this again, I think it's just one recruiting class away. But the guys that are banged up right now, not to be derogatory, but they'll step aside and the next man up. And I expect the same effort out of each one of them. They're here to play football. Let me rephrase. They're here to get an education and play football while we're doing that. And that's their time.
The phrase, the game is won at the line of scrimmage, to me, it's not just a cliche, it's a fact.
Absolutely.
And with Coach Nevins here talking about the offensive line, a whole new group of guys. Talk about the challenge of that and where you see them now compared to where they were earlier in the season.
Well, like I said, we have 3 freshmen just starting collegiate football, and that usually doesn't happen on this level of play. The guys that came, they never played with each other. It's the first time ever they playing with each other at the beginning of the season. We had some hiccups and some protection-wise so far as guys working together. You know, working as a unit with 5 guys, it's a unique position on the field because you got 5 guys coming together at one time trying to take a task out. And it took a little time for us to get together. The guys are working hard. They're coming to work. And it's a challenge for us every day. So I look forward to that challenge. With the guys getting as much experience as they never thought they would coming into college, we building on something that's going to wind up being great with these 3 freshmen that we're starting with, and adding on to that. Like Coach says, we probably one recruiting class away from actually getting to that mountaintop that we're looking to strive for. So these guys are doing a great job of working hard. Every week it's a battle because the guy's going down, and like Coach said, next guy up, and we coming together, and it's going to be okay. I think the future's real bright for us. You know, I know some people's impatient on trying to get things done, but this group right here, I see with an additive with a guy here and there, we could do something great here at the university once again.
Let me just say something about the offensive line, Tim, as they matriculating on the field. Like Coach Niven said, they never played together. This is their first time playing as a unit for us. There's 3 that are freshmen. 2 others are transfers, junior college transfers. So normally you may get 1, maybe 2, but because of circumstances, because of disciplinary actions, we lost guys off the offensive line. We didn't invite some just didn't come back and compete. So the freshmen beat them out. So if you think about it from this concept, that these young guys are doing what they're doing, not giving up sacks in certain games, playing hard, practicing hard, how much better will they be next year because they have this 1 year under their belt? How much better will they be the next year because they've got the 2 years under their belt? I mean, the experience plays a huge part. That's why you see the FBS and FCS schools going after transfers from junior colleges and Division I transfers because they have that experience, and that's something that you can't talk. You either got to have it or you don't. And, you know, I take my hat off. There's 3 freshmen in the secondary, which we're holding our ground. How much more better? How much more better? Is that right?
I know you. Go ahead and say that.
I'm from Arkansas,
Okay.
Pine Bluff. How much more better will we be over the next couple of years because these guys are getting these SWAC hours right now?
That was that UCA education.
That's what it
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Touche.
Sean, and I'll finish up with you. Freshman coming out of the Fort Worth area, a great hub for all sports, really. But talk about your freshman season and being thrusted in. As you mentioned, 3 freshmen in the secondary. That's almost unheard of, and that'll keep you up at night for sure.
Absolutely.
So talk about that a little bit, your progression as the season went on, and your thoughts for the season.
I feel like it's going good. Coming in, I actually wanted to start, but first couple of games it just wouldn't happen. I was on special teams, but we had some difficulties in the secondary, and so next man up, and I'm up making plays, doing good.
Tim, can I make another comment about just young guys in general, not none of our guys specifically? High school football is pretty much over with. Their seasons are over with right now, and have been for at least a week, maybe 2 weeks in some cases. My point is, we're still going, and traditionally, or from a physical standpoint, your body kind of shuts down because you've been accustomed to playing X amount of weeks, and now you got these extended weeks. And with the number of young guys that we do have playing, that their bodies are kind of contradicting what their minds are saying. I've got to keep going, but you know, it kind of slows them down. And I can speak to that personally, because coming from college, going into the professional rankings, after about 10 games, you know, my body started to shut down my first few years until I got accustomed to, hey, this is the longest season, 16 games, and then even more if you make it to the playoffs. So, you know, you got to commend these young guys because they're fighting through fatigueness because they hadn't been this far. They hadn't stretched this far. And I know some of them go to the playoffs and all that, but it's still a difference within the college rankings.
Yeah, the travel too. I mean, there's so many
Yeah.
parts of that. They talk about from year 1 to year 2, that's where you see your biggest leap.
Yeah.
And you got a lot of year 1 guys.
That's right.
So year 2 could be looking pretty good.
Pretty good. I would like to, Mr. Marcus Terrell came in. I would like to bring him up and let him sit and answer any questions that anyone might have with Mr. Marcus. He's late, so he will see Coach Coggins after practice.
Never get my tie fixed.
Okay.
Sean, we'll let Marcus get settled in. Can you just give us, I know we talk about the speed, but what are some things that you have learned being as a freshman different from high school, you know, other than the speed of the game?
Well, it's basically just the receivers. We play against grown men and physical, fast. I'm not used to it, so me playing as a freshman is gonna get me ready to keep playing and be a starter for the rest of the rest of my career.
How old are you,
UAPB.
Sean?
I'm 18.
Wow. Still growing, huh?
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. Thank you. Good answer. All right. Any other questions from the media as we have Mr. Marcus Terrell up here as well? And if not, we can move on to the audience. I know we've got some questions brewing for sure. All right.
Did you want to?
One at a time, one at a time.
First, Monte, I want to compliment you. You've been here for 15 years, I think, about 15 years as an assistant coach and head coach. And I want to comment on your character. A lot of people find it difficult to be a minister and a coach too because that rough, tough attitude. But you've maintained your integrity the entire time. I've known you the whole time. I remember your parents. And you've maintained your character throughout your life, and it's a feather in your cap. And I just want, you know, I know not many people don't know that you're an ordained minister,
Yes.
and you've remained true to your God. And I want to compliment you on that, Monte.
Thank you.
No matter what the season's been like, you're a man of integrity here.
Thank you. It's tough, but you know there's scripture in the Bible that says I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, and that's where my strength comes from my administrative backing, from my family, just for an opportunity. This is how I was when I played. Off the field, this is how I was, but on the field, I was a little, you know, a little something.
Right, I'll go get it.
A little different. But I appreciate the compliment, Bubba. Thank you.
Thank you.
That means a lot.
Now, Marcus, you were not here when they were asking the other questions. So let me ask you one question. Damon, the offensive line coach, commented that there were no sacks. Now, that's an improvement from the offensive line. I don't know how long they were expected to hold their blocks, or if you got rid of the ball faster, what happened. Can you explain what led to a lack of sacks?
Really, it's a combination of them giving me time to get the ball off, of me making reads and getting the ball in my hands, of receivers getting open, or running backs getting open and giving me an outlet to get the ball out.
I didn't see this last game, but in the previous games that I saw you were outstanding, young man here.
Appreciate it.
And I hate to see you go. Now, Steele, you're a freshman, and I hear Monte talking about we got 3 freshman offensive linemen, 3 freshmen playing in the secondary, and I don't know. I know you, Monte. You play a lot of linebackers. You rotate linebackers in and out of there all day long.
Yes, we do.
And I don't know how many freshmen you got in there, but that says a lot for our future. you know, like was said before, the ability to be able to play in your freshman year. Now, let me ask you one question, Steve. What you run the 40 in?
4.5.
I knew it. and for everybody out there in TV land, that's fast. When you got and having been a corner, I figured you ran a 4.5. Congratulations on that. And we want to see it next year. We want to see it drop down to a 4.45.
Yes, sir.
You know, with closing speed. I had a million questions, but Monte.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me what happened between the Grambling game and this last game? I know that you said it came out a little flat, but is there any other contributing factor that you know of that maybe that created that situation?
I can only speculate, Bubba, to answer your question. First 1 o'clock game, normally we'll sit around the hotel a little bit longer. The pregame meal is a little later because the game is later, of course. But now, I mean, as soon as you wake up, we've got to walk through. It's time for pregame, and it's time to get on the bus. So everything is crunched when you've got an early game. And this was the first 1 o'clock game. So maybe because of the 9 games prior to, you know, we hadn't had to rush as much. And it wasn't a rush because we've got an itinerary and everybody was on time and everybody was where they were supposed to be. So it wasn't a rush, but the point that I'm making is because of the earliness of the game, it rushed us up just a little bit more than what we were accustomed to previous weeks. So is that the right answer? I don't know. I wish I did know. I've been asking the players, and they can't really tell me, okay, it was this. Coach, we needed to leave later, or we needed to leave coming from Pine Bluff to go there. We needed one more bus so we could have spread. No one has a clear answer. Talking with the coaches, talking with the players, it was just that one game that we've had this year that we came out a little flat.
Okay. Now, Coach, what time is the next game?
The next game is 2:30 game.
2:30.
Yes.
You think it'll make a difference?
I don't think so because now we're in Little Rock. We'll be in Little Rock at 45-minute drive opposed to an 8.5 hour drive to Houston. So you know that's a long ride. That's a long ride. Even with the couple of stops that we make, it's a long ride. So you know one of the things that I told the coaches, I said, which we go to Houston every year. We either play Texas Southern or we'll play Prairie View, but we go to Houston every year, maybe leaving on Thursday and then, you know, having all day Friday, all day Thursday, and then Saturday so our bodies can get the rest that we need. But that would be something that, you know, of course, me and Mr. Hardy, the Chancellor, and other powers to be that we would talk about to see if that's a possibility.
Monte, you are graduating 12 seniors?
There's 19.
19?
Yes, sir. That we had on
Okay,
senior
so that
day.
gives you a lot of recruiting room, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, will there be 19, or do you have more because of some other circumstances? But whatever it is, that's quite a bit. And how is your recruiting going? I know that this is premature, but do you see some people on the horizon?
Yes.
That can make a difference going forward?
We've got a big Polynesian kid that's going to visit with us this week. He's also has a trip planned on the 8th of December to Kent State, but there's a good chance we're going to get him. He's a 6'6", 320-pound offensive lineman. He plays offensive tackle, and he'll be here this this weekend. We will have a full recruiting weekend for transfers in junior colleges on the 8th and 9th of December, and we're starting to fill those boards. So because of the efforts of the Chancellor and Mr. Hardy, we are up to 61 and a half scholarships, which is the most we've ever had. So we'll be able to fill that board. The most that you can sign at any time during a recruiting year is 30, and we've been able to do that. But we also lost and not replaced enough because we didn't have, thank you very much, the number of people within our cohort or the number of people that we could recruit. But this year's looking very promising for us. Got a lot of junior
Very
college
good.
people that's interested in
Very
us.
good. Because I have a feeling that the season ran out. You know, Nolan Richardson used to say he didn't lose a game, time ran out on him. And the season might be running out on you.
Yeah.
Now, my favorite subject,
All right.
gold toe.
Gold toe.
Our punter and kicker. I have received information that he was last week #1 in the nation in punting or kicking. Would you, Camille, would you elaborate on what?
He was #1 in punt netting in the FCS.
And I would imagine that he'll be first team all SWAC in kicking and punting. He's an outstanding young man. We got him back another year, and I hope that everybody continues to watch him and root him on. Gold toe.
Jamie's doing well. Gold toe's doing well. The punt team is also ranked nationally. I think we're 3rd or 4th in FCS. So he averaged like 41 point something this past weekend, and actually had a bad week of punting, but he still averaged over 40 yards punting. So Jamie is definitely a weapon that we do have.
Thank you, Bubba.
Thank you, Bubba.
All right, next from the audience, please. All right, we have a question to the left, Cam. Thank you, ma'am.
My comment is to the student athletes, to Marcus and Sean. I just want to let you know, as a fan, we appreciate all your hard work on and off the field. And would you please tell us a message to the fans for the upcoming game?
A big win. A very big win.
We just appreciate the support, you know what I'm saying? And we just hope you can come out for this last game, support us one more time. We're going to try to go get a win. We're not hanging it up yet. You know, we got one more game left on the schedule, and we're trying to get a win.
Wonderful, wonderful. All right, questions from the audience? In the meantime, we'll ask Marcus, 41 throws. How's your arm feel?
I'm good. Got some treatment. I'm straight.
Good to go for 41 more?
Hey, if I got to do it, I got to do it.
Hopefully Keyshawn will be back.
Yeah, hopefully. That'd be
Yes,
nice.
sir. Just to ease the pain a little bit. All right, any more questions from the audience? Coaches, administrators, fans? All right, folks, we appreciate everybody coming in. We'd like to invite everybody to our Lady Lions basketball game against Philander Smith. We've got Coach in the house. 6:30 tip-off, H.O. Clemens Arena. 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock. The ladies are 1-0 so far, so just to remind everybody, for Thursday. And then, of course, Saturday, 2:30, War Memorial Stadium. Definitely want to be there for the season finale as our Golden Lions end the losing streak and pick up the victory. We're calling it now. Have any more statements, questions? Come on in, Kalisa. At this time, we'll do our weekly drawing for our tickets. 2 tickets this week. You won last time, Bubba. Look, you can win again if you're lucky. All right, pull out your tickets, please. Who do we have? Who is our lucky winner?
Class 333.
King Coggins again. Second time to win this year. Come on down, Coach. Yes, sir. Tickets to this weekend's football game. I'm going to be a team player. Go ahead and pay. He wants There you go.
You got to earn them now. You got to come and go to one of our workouts like this.
Woo! I can hear him yelling from the office. Go ahead, Coach Coggins. Bless you. Amen. Wonderful, wonderful. Well, on On behalf of Chancellor and AD Lonzo Hardy, we thank everybody coming out. I also want to thank UAPB Dining Services, Mr. Avery, Ms. Rose. They always do a great job for us. And we'd like to thank you all for coming out this week and this year. To all our fans, everybody watching on Twitter, thank you so much for the support. Alumni fans, we're not giving up. We're going to keep fighting. And we'll see you on Saturday. Go Lions. Let's eat. All right.